Hey everyone. It's been a while since my last upload, and to be completely honest with you, life gets pretty busy sometimes as an adult. Between work, parenting, bills to pay, it all feels just like endless responsibilities and things to get to, and it's really easy to feel like you're constantly falling behind. And sometimes you forget to slow down and do the little things that make you feel like yourself again. So in this project, I decided to build something personal, something that reminds me to slow down and reflect. And this is what I come up with. I hope you'll like it. From screen to reality, I have made a real-world memory bank inspired by the movie Inside Out. In the movie, the glowing spheres are called memory orbs that stores the core memories and emotion of a person, with each color represent the feeling. Where red is for anger, purple for fear, yellow for joy, blue is sadness, green is disgust, and orange for anxiety. Each of the memory orb represent the emotion highlight of each day, and by creating this memory bank, I want to reflect on my own life, one emotion, one day, and one marble at a time. I'm using these tiny LEDs to bring each of the memory orb to life, and these LEDs have a magic trick up their sleeve that they don't take any batteries.
Yeah, how does this work? These LEDs are powered wirelessly. And my little secret is if you look underneath the desk, I have tape, a copper coil underneath it, and that's what's providing the wireless power.
Each of these mini LEDs, instead of batteries, have tiny little copper coil, and when perpendicular to the big coil, through induction, these LEDs are lighting up. And they're surprisingly vibrant and bright, especially in the dark. And next step, I'm going to turn these LEDs into the memory orb. To do this, I found this tiny little capsule, which is perfect for this project. By placing the LED into the capsule and using hot glue gun to secure it. The hot glue plays a critical role here. Not only secures the LED in place, it also gives the marble a nice weight to it. In addition, it's acting as like a diffuser, giving the LED a nice glow. Then I'm doing a little bit of sanding to the surface of the orb to diffuse the light even more. And here it is. The first memory orb is now complete. It's looking real nice, and this is where I get really excited because I knew I was able to make this project and make my vision come to life. Now it's not time to celebrate yet. For this project, I've got over 100 memory orbs to make, and that means a lot of sanding. Luckily, I have some help. I have Charlotte joining me on the project for the first time. And she seemed genuinely interested, which is really special for me. We geared up with our mags to protect ourselves from all the plastic dusts. After putting Charlotte to bed, I stay up to finish rest of the sanding myself. Honestly, this has been the hardest and most time-consuming part of this whole build, but I kept reminding myself, great things takes time, and the result is going to be so worth it. Okay, so it's currently 12:49 a.m. and this is the last one. It was about 8:30 p.m. when I first started it, so yeah, this whole thing took me about 3.5, 4 hours. Yeah, anyways, excited to finish this up because I'm super tired and just want to go to bed. There we go, last one in the bag. 100, all done. Gonna go bed now. Good night, everyone. With all the capsules smooth and sanded, it's finally time to put in the LEDs. Because of work and family life, I usually only get time to work on projects like this when the house is quiet and everyone's is asleep. But recently, I've come to really appreciate these late night hours. There's something calming about focusing on a build like this. It helps me unwind, clear my mind, and tap into the kind of creativity that's hard to reach during the day. So tonight, I'm continuing my journey, carefully adding LEDs into each capsule to bring these memory orbs to life. One by one, until the world around me falls silent. As for designing of the memory bank, I'm taking inspiration from this shot right here. A wall shaped like a wave with glowing memory orbs. I knew I want to capture this design. So this is a game plan. I want to design the memory bank in two parts. The top one being the main track where the memory work will go in and drop to the bottom. Then what I'm doing next is I'm going to design the base where this where I can hide the coil and have the power coming out of it in the back. And the base is also going to act as storage for memory orb. I'm going to create a trapdoor to let the orb fall through. Then shortly after, I had an epiphany. Okay, so this was the original plan. So what I was planning to do is to build a base to store the coil, and then when all the marbles are at the bottom, I could open the trapdoor and all the marble fall to the bottom. But I noticed that there is like issue with how far the magnetic field will go before it lights up the LED. So there's a very good chance that the LEDs all the way at the top won't get lit up just because there's a limited range about 8 centimeters for this whole thing. And then once doing the measurement, this whole thing is about 20 centimeter high. And then I had a big brain moment. So what if I flip it over? I hide the coil in the back like this. So I designed all the marble track with the coil in the back. Then that way, all these areas should ideally get lit up. And then yeah, this was my big brain moment. I'm a genius. Anyways, I'm gonna get creating. See you later. Then I start 3D modeling the memory bank. This was about 6 hours of modeling condensed into 20 seconds. This is a little bit of a trickier build because all of the curved surfaces, in addition to the slopes and geometry, has to be really precise for the marbles to slide down the track properly without issue. One of the advantages of using a 3D modeling software is that I was able to visualize what it looks like with it's all colored. And what I quickly found out was that it looks very boring and very flat. And what I ended up with is that I decided to paint the top part with a light purple and the back of the track with dark purple to give it a little bit more contrast and visual interest, while still staying true to the source material of using purple as the base color. With the 3D modeling complete, I sent it off to my 3D printer to be made. This is going to be an 18-hour print. This is by far the largest print I ever done on this 3D printer, so I'm a little bit nervous. Alrighty, so it's officially midnight. I have a fresh roll of filament. 9 hours remaining. Let's go! I'm going to bed now. Should be done when I wake up in the morning. Bye. Oh sweet, the print is finished and it's looking pretty good. Yeah, that's whoa, stuck on there pretty good. Okay, so this is what it looks like, fully assembled.
And yeah, let's give it a shot. And to test out the latch. Yep, it's working.
With everything assembled and tested, now it's ready for paint. Before painting, I first quickly sand down each of the parts. Then I laid down the light purple paint as base for the track. And I hit the base with the dark purple.
And look, we have a little friend. That freaked me out when I was painting. I guess I'll leave it alone for now and check back later.
With the base coat finished, in order for me to paint the inside of the track dark purple, I need to do masking, a lot of masking. As they say, 90% of painting is actually preparation, and it's absolutely true. Right now, while I'm going over every edge with an X-Acto knife, making sure lines are crisp and there's no excess tape getting in the way of clean finish. Okay, there's no going back now. This paint job will make or break this project. I'm seriously praying that all the masking tape will hold and doesn't tear everything apart when I peel it off. Fingers crossed.
Okay, so did 3 coats on this thing. Looking pretty good. I'm just gonna let it dry and cure properly for overnight, and then yeah, let's see how the tape held up. That's it. I'm gonna go bed and bye for now. Okay, so it's been 12 hours. Let's go and check on it to see how did our paint job go. Anyways, let's get inside and yeah, let's start unwrapping this thing. Okay, so here it is. Let's try and wrap this thing. This is gonna make or break the project, I hope. No paint will come off when I try to unpeel this thing. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so let's check the edges first to make sure there's no bleed. Oh snap. Yo. This is cool.
The masking tape is working perfectly, so Charlotte and I continue to unravel the rest of the main track. And here's what it looks like with all the masking tape removed. It turned out way better than I thought. And with all the parts finished, this is what it looks like with it all being assembled. And it's time for the final reveal. Now, I built this project not just for show, but actually built it to use it for myself, a tool to help me slow down, reflect, and check in one day at a time. And this is how my first month of tracking and reflection went. The first few days were filled with happiness. We picked up our cars and went on a road trip together. We're getting out of the city for a couple days to recharge. And those yellow happiness marbles came easy. And next couple of days were full of small adventures. We went around a train ride, fed some farm animals, and we stopped at every single water park that we can find. And at nighttime, we would pile back into our tiny little hotel room. However, there is something special about having the whole family crammed into a tiny little room together. It's chaotic, a little bit messy, but honestly, It's one of those feelings that made me feel really nostalgic about my own childhood trips. So for the first 4 days of the trip, it was so much fun, but on the 5th and the final day of the trip, something happened. At this particular water park, I was running around playing carelessly, and yep, I completely wiped out. I was taken to the emergency room. That's when I found out I had a fracture on my shoulder. I won't lie, I was scared at that moment. This is my first time in the emergency room, and with the trip ending, I wasn't sure how we're gonna get home. I marked that day with a purple marble. Fear is just about the only thing I felt that day. The doctor secured my arm with a sling and gave me some medicine for my pain, and next day we decided to go home. Upon returning home, I was feeling a little bit sad. Coming home, I felt sad. I cannot help but feel like I've ruined the trip, and that I made my family worried. And the next 2 days, I felt really helpless and anxious at home, because with a broken shoulder, I felt like I couldn't do much to help out my wife and kids. And then came Monday. I definitely had a serious case of Monday blues after everything that had just happened. I felt sore, a little bit frustrated, and honestly felt a little bit disgusted at the 6 hours of meeting I had today. Between my injury and the stress piling up at work, it was really starting to get to me. I even got into an argument with my wife over something I don't even remember today. So that day, got a red marble. Not my proudest day, but it was real. So today is a farewell party for one of my coworkers. She has been my boss for the last 14 years, and today was her last day. And we had a going away party for her. It definitely was a bit bittersweet. So today I'm gonna be dropping in the blue marble. And since my coworker left, things have been a little bit crazy at work, so the next few days I've been really busy and a little bit stressed out. It has been a stressful week, but things are starting to look up. It's Charlotte's last day of school, and we have pizza night to celebrate. And I was able to spend a lot of time with them. We celebrated Canada Day at a local fair. And Charlotte's favorite person, Grandpa, aka my dad, came to visit for the summer. And the happy memory just keeps stacking up over the next few days. And things were looking up compared to the week before. Just when you thought that you had it all under control and life throws you a wrench.
Well, that's not good.
Okay, so I come back from the auto mechanic shop and I got quoted about $10,000 to fix my car. Yeah, that's pretty gross. And I was feeling a little bit anxious the next day, not knowing what I was going to do about my car. But you know, life goes on. When there's a problem, you'll deal with it. I was able to find a mechanic that was able to fix my car at a much reasonable price. My shoulders were healing well. I was able to get my sling off. Then I spent the next couple of days playing with the kids. And yeah, overall things were good. However, things at work are becoming harder to manage. I was feeling drained mentally and physically, and I kept pushing through. And just as I thought things couldn't get worse, I got into a car accident. Thankfully, no one was seriously hurt, but it definitely shook me and my family. And yeah, definitely that was another moment that forced me to stop and think whether I pushed myself too hard over the last month. So yeah, this has been a hell of a month, and looking back at it, this project couldn't have come a better time for me. through all my emotions, everything that happened, my injuries. And yeah, I felt like this build, which started out as just like a simple fun ideas that I had by watching movies with my kids, into definitely a wake-up call for me. It's a wake-up call for me to slow down, reflect, and for myself to really think about what I want to spend my time on and do things that truly make me happy. And if I've made it this far in the video, I want to say thank you. Truly, it means a lot to me. And if there's anything that I learned through all of this, is that yeah, do the things that brings you joy, regardless how big or small or how silly it might be. Even if it's unproductive, if it brings you joy, it's absolutely worth the time. So in the end, I just want to wish everybody have a good summer and spend time on doing things that brings you joy. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Yeah, that works.